Let's take a first ever look at the large city called Athens in Odyssey that is 40% larger than Alexandria in Origins and has a lot of interesting parts that I will show you in this video. So let's get into it. If you enjoyed that, then a like would be super appreciated, and let's go. There are a lot of things going on in Athens when you walk around in the city that you get to around level 15 in the game. You will see how the statues were made with the tools the developers at Ubisoft Quebec saw in a museum during their over a week-long stay in Greece. Because of course, if you want to make a game about ancient Greece, you got to visit the place as well. Although not everything is of course still the same than it was around 431 years before the Common Era. Some things like the Tower of Zeus are destroyed now, but they could still make it for in the game thanks to drawings they found. The Temple of Hephaestus that was made a little before the game takes place is still in Greece at this moment and also prominent in the game. With awesome looking statues in front of it, I just love the overall statues that we see in the city, giving it way more personality. I felt more connected to the overall world in Origins than the cities. I did like Serene though, but that did not have the same amount of detail that has been put into Athens. To show the diversity of the city, they looked at it as some sort of pizza slice and made different districts, like the marble one where we see everyone work on these big statues, or the pottery district, Karamakos, where we see people hard at work on these pots used for oil, cosmetics and wine, with different people painting the pot and others making it. Yes, I got some history lessons as well during my trip to Ubisoft Quebec, and you see the sort of actions the NPCs do in the world, and it really reminds me of the Discovery Tour, where in Origins you could of course perform these tasks yourself as well. And in some areas in the footage that was shown, like someone was playing it in front of me, there were these interactable objects as well, where the player could perform things. Although I did not see this in action, implying that you could do them in the main game or that there is totally a Discovery Tour coming. And I mean, it makes a lot of sense, and I hope so as well, because there were many things to look at in the city, and also things that had interesting stories, like the Panathinaik Games, and I hope I pronounced that right, that were almost as important as the Olympic Games. But here they wanted to drag this huge boat to the stadium first before they started with the competitions. Or that the Temple of Zeus was still under construction during this time because they did not want to spend money on building it. This construction site adds some nice variety to the city that is otherwise full of small buildings and streets. We can also take a look inside one of the villas in the city from Pericles, an influential man and general of Athens. We see a house that is insanely decorated, with also a room where men can party, have drink contests and also entertainment. He also had a big influence on the theater that is outside, where we should actually be able to see some plays, and musical contests were held there as well. So as you see in the footage right here, and the presentation I got as well suggested that the city is very well alive, with a lot of people doing jobs or having roles that would make sense for that part of the city. But of course, in the end, it's all about the gameplay, so I'm really curious how they will incorporate the many historical things of the city. What quest, like what will we do while we explore Athens and the different districts? And will we participate in the things that went down there? Of course, there will be the standard barracks, I would imagine a few points on top of the grand statue of Athena, but I really did not see any combat gameplay or whatever. It was more a Discovery style of tour, and that worked well for a first look at the city and gave me a great impression of the variety it has to offer, more so than the cities in Origins, I feel, but maybe also because I never really looked at them this way. It's of course also different than, for example, in Syndicate, where you were mostly in London doing things. Now we have these big cities that are these main hubs at some point, but then later you move on. Let me know what you think of what you've seen so far about Athens. And by the way, this was the final Ubisoft Quebec sort of first look gameplay kind of videos that I show you here. I hope you enjoyed them as much as I loved making them, but we're of course just getting started. Like next week is Gamescom, where I will be playing Odyssey again to bring you some new look at the game, hopefully with the mercenary system as well. I would imagine that new trailers will be dropping next week, maybe the cinematic trailer as well. I mean, last year that was a thing at Gamescom for Origins. So I totally see them and maybe do that here as well. And of course, Origins launched at the end of October and Odyssey is already launching on October 5th. So they have way less time to drop these trailers if they want to do as many, for example, as with Origins. So I expect a big blowout next week, but I will be there covering it all so you don't have to miss anything. Subscribe, of course, to stay up to date on that. Check out my other videos I made during my trip to Ubisoft Quebec. For example, with the awesome look at the ranged assassin gameplay or a cool look at an awesome armor. I will speak to you next time. There will be more videos coming until we reach Gamescom, but you will see what those are. Thanks a lot for watching, and goodbye.